We are live.
Hey, beautiful.
Hello, sexy.
Hi,
sexy
gorgeous.
woman.
Hi.
We have been lusciously lazing about in the sacred waters. I don't know if you can hear the sound in the background, and recharging so we can come and share a little bit about what we're birthing, what we're building, what we're creating, what we're stepping into at the moment. And I guess we should share our podcast name because this is our first episode.
Conversations with Creatrix. It's going to be juicy, it's going to be potent. We have filled up being penetrated by the sun, by the masculine today, so that we can, thank you, this abundant life. And we've just come out the eclipse portal. Crazy time, so I'm sure lots of you will be feeling that. And now this is that time to integrate and process it, but not from a spiritual bypassing way of like, oh, I'm integrating, but from a place of real containment, right? Of what do we do with that? What's the actions that we take now?
And it was a time for rest, and a time to recharge, and a time to nourish your feminine well, this beautiful temple that you hold, and then I was speaking into today that it is really a beautiful time to make some serious choices, and take aligned action and really step in to your leadership. And by leadership, I mean that beautiful masculine containment. So we today have been filling up our feminine, being in our eros, in our pleasure, in our rest. And now we're stepping into our masculine containment. We're stepping into our leadership to say, where are we directing this energy? What are we channeling it into? And what action steps we need to do? And we're like, let's create a podcast.
That's
so
how organic it gets to be. It doesn't have to be forced. It doesn't have to be hustled. It doesn't have to be, what's the word, outsourced. And we use this word a lot, and Samantha, and I spoke about this earlier, it's like, what does outsourcing actually mean? And it's looking anywhere outside of ourselves. It's staying in spaces that are in the old paradigm. The old paradigm looks like structures, stale strategies, formulas, like I must do it this way, or I must show up this way in order to be seen, loved, respected in my leadership, right? We don't need to do that anymore. But what we have noticed is there is leaking energy, and I'll let Samantha speak more about that, but what is leaking energy? Like, what is it? What does that mean?
It shows up in so many multiple ways, but I want to speak into a free offering that we are creating, And one story that I do want to tell, the free offering is called the Sex Priestess, and I really want to speak into a story that I saw on an Ubuddian,
of course, always,
dance floor a few weeks ago. And it was a Friday night. I was at the yoga barn. I was dropping in, as I always do. I always honor the ancestors. I drop into my body. I connect with the energy. I start channeling the eros up my body. I go up. I connect to the central sun. I channel that delicious energy into my body. And this energy is just purifying and activating and awakening my frequency and vibration. And another woman, which I didn't know she was behind me just yet, but another woman was also doing this. And I really, as I was calling down Christ consciousness into my body, I felt this really dense, heavy energy. And I work as a shadow huntress. I read people's shadows for a living through their Akashic records. And all I could feel is this dense, heavy energy of this unalchemized energy. And all I could hear was like, will you fix me? Will you save me? Will you clear the energy for me? And I turned around and I saw this woman like lying down like Shakti theatrics, I have named it. She was activating her Shakti, the Kundalini. She was drawing, just like I was, this beautiful erotic current from the earth. But there was no containment. Yeah, so she was pulling this erotic energy up, this beautiful eros up through her body, and it was moving through her body, but instead of holding it with containment and really understanding the principles of energetic alchemy, yeah, and mastering energetic alchemy, yeah, turning lead into gold, yeah, turning fear into confidence, yeah, shifting energy and frequency instantly. It was spilling out into the room. And I turn around and she's just shaking her body, activating this eros, this feminine eros. She was very much in her sex, yeah. And by sex, I mean she was very much in her womb and her pussy, and the energy was rising up her body, but as it was moving, she wasn't merging it with this Christ consciousness and alchemizing it instantly. She was spilling it out. There was no masculine containment to hold this energy. And it was just leaking out into the room. And then I saw her for the next 3 days on different dance floors. Yeah, so she was very much in her feminine, but she was lacking this masculine containment, this masculine ability to be able to direct the energy, to be able to alchemize it into a higher frequency, let's say. And she really, for the next 3 days, I kept seeing her doing exactly the same thing. And on the last day, on the third day, I saw her on another dance floor, and with a man behind her, kind of holding her like around the neck, and she was lying on him and he was shaking her, like shaking it out of her. And I was like, because I'm lacking my own masculine containment and my ability to alchemize and to master my own energy, will you do it for me?
Yes.
Will you do it for me? So what I was feeling the first night, I saw it in action. Yeah, I saw this man. It's like, will you be the masculine, contain this energy? Will you be the masculine and direct this energy?
Outsource.
Yeah, so she was outsourcing while she was leaking all of this beautiful feminine erotic energy, which she could use to channel it into anything. What do you want? Do you want to buy? Do you want to manifest your home? Do you want to call in more clients? Do you want to, create a podcast? Yeah, it's like just before I came on, I'm like, let's activate this juicy energy, expand it into the body, and then hold it and direct it through.
Yes.
So there was very much a lack of understanding energetic mastery. There was a lack of knowing how to channel erotic energy so you can instantly alchemize into higher frequencies and the energy of creation. So you can align, and if you want those clients, it's like, I will activate this energy, I will alchemize anything in the way, and instantly I'm like, what do I want? I align to the frequency,
Yes.
I shift the room, just from being able to channel a new energy in.
That's it. And I feel like this is the difference between being magnetic and surrendering to, we say surrendering to the unknown, right? And making love to the unknown on one hand is so powerful and so beautiful. Yet without the masculine containment, without this space, about the integrity, without the understanding, how many people go to Kundalini activations, for instance, and they don't even know what they're surrendering to. They don't know what they're turning to, rather than actually, having that space of safety. And we see this in relationship, right? So we see lots of women trying to in this choose me, in this pick me energy, and they're like, oh, but I've done the work, I'm in receivership, like I've really done all the somatic practices, and yet there's still this outsourcing of, oh, I'm in receivership, I'm surrendering, but there's leaking energy, and it's just leaking into, they don't even know what it's leaking into because they're still operating from kind of an old paradigm, an old wound, right? And getting stuck in that chaos to healing trap, rather than being able to utilize the energy that lives in our womb, that lives in the space, that really tap into that to enable to channel that for something greater, right? Leadership, wealth, like having the relationship, but actually it's finding that inner union within the self. And if we're not able to do that, we're going to end up operating from things like princess energy, from entitled behavior. Like, why is this not happening for me? And that's the old paradigm, that's the old story.
Yeah, and we're shifting so much. A lot of this has been about shadow work And many of us have done a lot of shadow work, and we can get stuck in these loops. It's like we're activating all of this energy, and then how are we channeling this energy? As you said, it's like, are we getting stuck in integration? Like, oh, I'm just integrating and using that as an excuse, because we're not embodied in our masculine. I hate using the word container because it makes me think of like I'm just in a little container that our raw dessert came in before.
But it's a containment of, I guess another word.
And I like to say like containment, where are we directing? It is containment, and with eros, with sex, it births life. It is our life force. It is our creative intelligence. And a lot of women, sometimes they have that activated, but they're very much in the like, look at me, I'm embodied in my feminine, and I haven't really sourced my own validation, so I'm using it to seek the validation from you, or I'm using it to get the man to do things for me because I can't actually do that for myself, whereas when I actually do that for myself, the man automatically is like, hey, I want to show up for you because he can feel you're embodied in your masculine, right? This just came up for you. Yeah, you're an amplifier, you're magnetic, that you attract that which you are, and so when we're talking about somatic practices, as you were, somatic practices, it's great. We hear a lot about somatic practice, but if we're not able to go into the specific and hone into the energy that is within the somatic practice and learn to master energy, to learn how to alchemize energy into a higher vibration so we can create everything that we are here to step into because we're in now alignment. We've shifted that fear into confidence instantly. And it can be in an instant. So when I speak about this shadow work, it's like, are we getting stuck in loops? Are we using excuses of like, oh, I don't have the confidence or I'm scared? Okay, great. Call your inner king on and tell him, baby, I've got you. I know you're feeling this, but breathe into his cock, his balls, breathe into your erect spine and let him hold you so your feminine can open her heart. She can channel what she's here to channel. And she can master the energetics that she's so powerful at holding. Oh, like
juicy, see it, and that feels, it's like I'm being turned on by even just this transmission that we're speaking into.
Me too.
Right? I'm so turned on, and I'm actually we're able to hold it. It's like I'm not just like giving this away, like, oh, I've got this thing, let's give that seed away. And this is why it's not about the practice itself. It's not about the modality, this is when a modality becomes a cult because we end up saying, this is how you have to do something, this is the strategy, this is the space. And actually, if we're able to understand that it's the frequency that we're showing up in, then we're able to make moves, we're able to create a movement, and that's what we're doing here, right? We're creating a movement, and I know this is not just us. You want to create a movement too. You're here to make moves in your business, to make moves in your relationship, to make moves in the way that you show up to wealth, the way you show up to just being in your body, right? And this happened yesterday. I'm sat in a cafe, and after some really deep energetic work, which I won't go into completely, but some really deep shadow alchemy came up in my relationship for the eclipse season. And basically what happened was I was operating from a projection, from an old wound that obviously resurfaced because eclipses are all about past lives and old contracts that we've signed and things that kind of come up ready to be complete, right? Ready to complete the karmic completion. And this old thing had come up, and this old thing about firstly staying silent, right? I'd worked with Samantha. She lovingly held a session for me because I was kind of chaotic and having nervous system stuff in my body going on. And this old contract of like, if I speak into my truth, then I'm going to be tortured. Right? So we cleared that, we moved that. And yet there was still this hanging on of this old story of, I can't speak my complete truth. And I had tried to speak my truth a few times in my relationship, but it still wasn't being met. And so what happened was, because it wasn't met, it ended up coming out in this very ugly way, and that's what shadow alchemy is, right? Shadow alchemy of, I'm gonna actually go into the shadow, and what I had to do was really admit it. I admit I was the villain, you know? I was in the drama triangle, and I wasn't doing what a lot of us do on the internet and in life. It's like, oh, play the victim. I was like, I was playing the villain. And I had to really admit that. I had to actually meet the shame, meet the embarrassment. It was, you know, we talk about shame and embarrassment very similar, but slightly different. The embarrassment of it, the guilt of it that came into my body. And what happened was when I met it with that, everything shifted. So we're sat in this cafe, right? And I receive a message from my love. I've just dropped some money into your account. I really miss you today. I mean, I've missed you every day, but today I really miss you. And the only difference that happened was I had met this space, you know, with deep love, this guilt, this shame, this grief that was coming through, just met it with complete masculine provision, masculine presence. And that's what we talk about, containment, this providership of like, I have fucking got you.
I am in this seat of awareness, this masculine I am presence consciousness. I can witness all of these feminine, all of the stories, the shadows, the shames, you know, the agreements, the spells that have been passed down for so long, and often it's not even ours, or it's deep soul work of excavation that we're here to do, but we're here to do it so we can master our energy. We can master thyself, and along the journey of mastering the self is the duality, is the experience of experiencing the duality, and we often go from like, oh, very feminine to, oh, now I'm masculine, and you know, I'm like armory and control, and
like must do this, must do that, must put my barrier up, and a barrier isn't actually masculine at all. It's control, it's shadow masculine. A lot of people think they're being in masculine, right, but they're actually being in shadow masculine, and actually that's what I was doing in that moment, was being in shadow masculine. I was trying to control a situation, but then the feminine was leaking because the mature masculine of just total like, I'm open, but I'm holding you, and I'm also containing at the same time.
This deep, penetrative consciousness that can shift any energy in any room at any time.
Yes.
That is magnetism when it's utilized, and it's in this sacred weaving and this dance of our feminine eros and our pleasure, and we're turned on, and we're filled up, and we're overflowing with this amrita, like this nectar, this honey of the feminine, this nourishment, this wetness. Then when you integrate this masculine containment, you can direct it so specifically. When you know, as we said, the laws and the foundations, the principles of energetic mastery, that's the step up from somatic work, is energetic mastery.
Yes. Energetic mastery to be
otherwise, what are we doing with it?
That's it.
It's just going everywhere.
And that's the thing about the practices. The practices are gateways, right? The practices are not something that we're like having, must do another modality, must do another training, must do another thing, must look at this script and see how this person's done it, or maybe that will work for me. And this isn't to say that you can't get inspired by other people. We're all as collective consciousness together, but we see the theatrics that happen, you know, in the world. The reason that there's this circus happening is because we're still separating ourselves. We're still blaming men. We're still separating ourselves by saying, I have to do X, Y, and Z to be loved. I must show up professionally. What does professional even mean? So we're starting to now see this division and choose where do I want to focus my energy? Which one do I want? Do I want to go into this old paradigm of, you know, not feeling enough and contorting myself? Or do I want to go into this space where I'm able to be flirtatious, playful, like source the energy from that feminine that we talk about, your primordial feminine blueprint. That means we feel into our body, but then what do we can do with that? That's the masculine containment, and that's why we're rising together. Whatever we're seeing outside of ourselves is happening inside of ourselves. So if you're someone who is really, already space holding, wanting to just be able to be more magnetic and adaptable and read the room and shape the room.
Yeah.
But it's not about doing more, right? It's not about doing more practices or doing more, being the biggest person. It's about that provision. And, often Samantha and I will walk into a room, and we've had this on our last retreat, right? The feedback is, before anything even was taught, before anything is even said, there's this energy. Like, there's this, I think one of my friends even said once, it's like, a pin could have just had a pin drop. Like, how did you get everybody's focus? And it wasn't even saying anything, because that's the energy shift, right? It's the same in relationships. It's like, we've called this sex priestess, and it's not just about sex, and it's not just about relations. In fact, it's more about space holding for ourselves and the facilitation of that. And yet, if we are talking about relationship, it's how am I meeting and delivering this information that's happening in my body to my partner? Or how am I delivering this information to the person in the room on my retreat? And that can just come from just a shift in energetics.
It's the subtle energetics, the unseen aspects of ourself that we're starting to learn and cultivate. This energy that was leaking out of this woman, that was unseen. You couldn't see the energy, but I could feel the density. I could read it instantly. And we're really we're cultivating this intuitive leadership when we're balancing both. Intuitive leadership is the feminine and the masculine in this sacred dance together. And we know the feminine is like, I know where I'm being called to go. And I'm in the vibration of it because I have channeled that through this beautiful temple body, and I know exactly what I need to do with that and where I need to go. I don't know what's going to happen next, nor do I need to know. I just need to take each step at a time. Each day is a step to take, and with this eclipse, everything has radically transformed. Imagine all of this suppression that you've been feeling, this lack of confidence, the anxiety, the pain in the body. What is suppressing that is causing all of that? We just got a thumbs up from the screen. Thanks.
Thank you.
The computer is talking to us.
Can you give us the heart now too?
And so where are you holding back? What is imbalance? I should more say, what is imbalance within you right now? Are you really in your soft woman relaxation era where you're all in your practice, but maybe you're gone too far down that realm where you're like, I've got to rest again and I just need to do another practice before I can step into that, right? And what is the other side of the masculine? Are you trying to control the outcome before there is even one? Are you trying to control the strategy when you're actually just here to step in and express? We didn't have a strategy for showing up here. We're like, what do we feel that we want to speak in today? So we're just in flow, and this is how we want to show up right now. And other times there are strategies to bring control, to cultivate. But it's like, where are you too much in the strategy?
There's
where your
outline.
Feminine blueprint wants to come online because there's such a deep embodied wisdom that she holds, which could take your facilitation, which could take your clients, which could take your relationship to an entirely new level that you may not even think that you're ready for, but is already encoded within your system, and you just need to take a new step. You need to actually take the action step. You need to make a decision and actualize it. That's how we step into and serve what every single mission that we're all here to serve at this time. So how can we dance with the eros and invite that in to really awaken to an entirely new vibration and frequency, because where we have come from is no longer. We cannot keep serving the way that we were. Like the coaching industry and all this 10 steps and strategies, and it's like, is that actually really working for you right now? if you used to project onto your partner and let him just do whatever he wanted and it's actually giving you a lot of anxiety, is that really working for you right now? Does your masculine need to come online and actually speak truth and say, I'm going to create the space, I'm not just waiting for you to do it. I actually need to step in and say, hey, this is my truth, these are my desires. Yeah.
And you know what happens when what happens when you do that is in the masculine containment. I know we are in the tropical island right now, which is very exciting.
Coming on the body.
We're so, we had to make this move first to be here as well. Like we had to make the move first to really step into this space of like understanding that we can hold ourselves through all of the stuff we're going through. And when it's relationship and you're coming into speaking truth, and it's, if you take this into as an example, if you're speaking truth, but it's kind of a half truth, right? It's like, and it's coming from this entitled princess energy, which is really, really, difficult not to do because that's how we've kind of been trained to do it. But what happens is we get stuck in this like dynamic of almost mothering, right? And I don't mean mothering in like a nurturing way. That's also not great to do in a relationship, right? But mothering in a sense of like your partner, take him as a man, he'll feel like you're his mum if you're telling him off from a place of just like, this isn't okay. This is like, I'm not okay with this. Like, no, you shouldn't do that. No.
Do what I want.
I don't like this.
This is what I said I need. Why are you doing that?
Why are you doing that? Oh, stop that. Like mum's like, oh, stop touching that. Oh, stop touching that.
Why do you always do that? That is so annoying.
Why are you always doing this? Or not? It's just really upset. Oh, it's like that
Sometimes
princess.
okay,
like, really
the brat or the
me.
princess is okay to come in.
Oh, we love them to come
but
in.
is it getting you anywhere?
But it's the poignant, like, okay, actually, when you're able to, we talk about the full range as well in this, it's like the full range of your feminine can unlock when it's contained by your masculine. But if you haven't got the masculine, you won't feel comfortable going to the edges of different versions of yourself. So that's one version, right, princess? You can be in that. Sometimes I do that to my partner, or I allow myself to be in that space, and yet I don't want to hold there, I don't want to stay there. And if I really want true change to shapeshift the movement in that space, because we're talking about space holding, right? This isn't just relationship, I'm just giving you an example. But in that moment, if you want something, if let's say your partner's speaking to a woman and you don't really like it, that princess energy is not going to work. That mother energy is going to make him feel like he wants to run away because he is being mothered. But if you turn on your flirty, playful energy and almost make love to the jealousy that's happening in your body, because let's be honest, that's what's happening, you can just say,
I'm jealous.
You know what? You are not allowed to speak to her. And you can kind of like, you see like, you are mine. Okay?
I feel that in my body. I'm like, now I want you.
And the polarity switches on. So we talk about polarity that's happening inside of us. Now the polarity is happening outside of us. So Samantha is now like, I feel turned on, right? Because I'm being like this rather than like, no, you're not allowed to do that. I don't like that. That's not okay. That's not okay. See how much tension there is between us. There's tension, the openness of saying, you know what, that's really like annoyed me that you've spoken to her. You're not allowed to do that. You're mine. And suddenly, I'm like, I'm getting like spiced up. I'm like, I want to take this person and have. So it's the same with space holding in a facilitation of a big room of women on a retreat, of couples, of whatever it is, of creating content. Like, what is the energy you're stepping to and into and showing up as?
Yeah, we need to lead first. Yeah, we need to lead first. We think that I want the man to lead, I want the man to provide, I want the man to protect. Are you protecting for yourself? Are you protecting your desires? Are you protecting your truth? Are you just protecting how your like self-respect? Yeah. Are you protecting your life force, your energy, your womb, your sex? That's all from your masculine containment. That's all from the embodiment of the masculine energy, which we are 50-50 of both within. So we're really desiring, we have this duality and we have this polarity, but we have that to be able to integrate, to be able to reconnect to our eternal essence. Yeah, the Amrita, this gushing sacred water of the feminine, means eternal life. Yeah, when we when we can balance and integrate the dance of the masculine and feminine, we come back into our essence, our spirit, this eternal consciousness of that which we are. And then what are we creating? With that, we know we can do anything. It's like confidence. I've got that because my king is like you look at men, they've often they've got, a big desire, and they're like, I'm going to go after it, and they just go for it. It's like where within women I see a lot is within the women's work, there is a real lack of masculine containment within the woman. So we're kind of either just too in our feminine or too in our little girl, and we don't have our masculine on, which really supports us to step into our womanhood. We can speak our boundaries. We can say, no, I'm not okay with that. This is how I want to be treated. We can have the hard conversations. We can hold ourselves in them without collapsing. We can take our clients to an entirely new level.
Psychedelic dimensions, but not in a leaky way, right? But this galactic, where do you want to go? Because we're in this playground, right? And whatever we're speaking into, we're amplifying. I want to amplify, what do you want to amplify? I want to amplify the play, the pleasure, but also we have to be able to direct our energy into that. Otherwise, what are we doing? We're just rolling around in the ether, splaying around all over the place.
Legs theatrics, literally.
Like the newsletter we just sent. And I think that's so important. So that's what Sex Priestess is. A Sex Priestess is this coming home to the inner union that lives within ourselves.
To be able to hold. We talk about nervous system capacity, to be able to have the masculine containment, which is I know how to express, I know how to direct this energy so specifically, with such precision that there's no space for a little boy or a little girl. I am I know where I'm going, I know what I want, and I know how to show up for that when it goes off balance. So then we can be in our pleasure, we can be in our play, our magic can turn all the way on. What is magic? It's the ability to it's like being able to manifest miracles.
I think miracles are happening all the time.
Miracles are happening all the time. You say something and then it happens 5 seconds later. I am in a frequency. I am embodied. I'm commanding the space. I literally said this thing 5 minutes ago and God is there you go. There you go. There you go. Because I'm balanced. I'm in this dance, and it's we are both on opposite poles sometimes, and we're constantly learning from one another, how to come back into union. And it's exactly like men and women. We're supporting men to come back into their hearts. We're supporting men to hold the feminine chaos in the range, And we can't just desire it off the man to do it for us. We're really learning how to cultivate that within, so we can be in our pleasure, so we can be in our orgasmic range. We are multi-orgasmic, and a lot of women are still hiding their desire, and your desire is so luscious, and your desire is because it already is in some sort of timeline that wants to come through. So what choice and action do you need? Where is your to hone in it, to bring it in alignment, and to be penetrated by it? And where is your energy leaking? Because we have just come in, we have closed down an entire chapter or an entire new beginning. So what do you desire? How do you desire to cultivate more of your feminine energy? Where is that lacking the cultivation right now? Your pleasure, your eroticism, your sex, your life force, your frequency, your magnetism, your radiance. And then where is your masculine, maybe unintegrated? I like to say unintegrated. I shouldn't say lacking, but unintegrated.
Be careful.
Precision,
the words that
action, presence, consciousness. So we love teaching about inner union. And we're just having a conversation right now. We're not here to teach you the specifics and go into the deep practice right now. We just want to have a conversation about this, and we just want to say, Hi.
Hey.
Here we are. We have Sex Priestess, which lands in 2 days. Which is on Thursday, the 25th of September. If you're watching this after, there will be a replay for some amount of time. But on the live call, we are going to be doing hot seat coaching. Yeah. So if you have something in your relationship or in your business, or within your body and your pleasure, bring it. Because there's going to be a couple of lucky women who are going to get hot seat coached, and it's going to be so powerful because we have a lot of deep embodied medicine to share with all of you, and we're here to support you to step all the fuck the way in and be the bad bitch that you are, to be the magnetic creator, the intuitive leader, the woman who is just so liberated in her pleasure and is just overflowing that in every single area of her life, where your partner is like, I want you. Because you are just in your feminine.
That's it, baby. It's that radiance, and I feel like...
And you know who the fuck you are.
You know who the fuck you are. You're being the main character. You're not sitting on the sidelines. You're not being, Robin when you could be Batman.
You are
like
not
you're
made
actually
for the sidelines.
like able, and that's it. Like your reality is everything that you experience is what's happening inside of you. So this is time to learn how to really hold the space for yourself. If you're watching this before, yes, you'll get a hot seat coach. Come to the live call. If you're watching this after, you still have time to get into Space Holder. You still have time to get into our absolute baby that has birthed through this idea of we're not doing facilitation the same way. We're not even using the same words, right? We're not using the word healing anymore. I don't like the word healing personally. I haven't used it for a while. Every time I slip up and say it, I have to remind myself, we're not here to fix ourselves. We're not broken. And that story, even that word, the same as like wounded masculine, wounded feminine, I'm still using that occasionally because it's in the vocabulary. So when I catch myself, we come into this space of how are we integrating the parts of ourselves that are in the shadow. Shadow doesn't have any real connotation apart from, okay, it's dark, it's in the descent. We have to descend to be able to bring it up. We're not trying to descend to bring it, to get rid of it. We're bringing to integrate it so that we are in wholeness. When we say, I feel full, it's because you're full of life force of every single range, every single face of the feminine and every single face of the masculine. That's what we mean when we're being fullness. So Space Holder is able to meet all of those archetypes within the body, understanding astrology from the body, understanding Akashic records from the body, how to, attune to what's going on in the field from your body, from your will. We're not like going up here because we may as well just be a soul. We're living a human experience, and we think about things like Tantra, which we will be teaching, but we're not teaching Tantra as Tantra's been taught. We're teaching just the ethics and the foundations of ceremonial arts, which lives within us. We are the ceremony, we are the source. So when we talk about outsourcing, it's like outsource, source. Source is here, you are source. So stop looking anywhere else for it because that's the energy leaking. And this is Space Holder.
That's the unintegrated masculine.
That is the unintegrated masculine.
It's like, I know, you are very wise. You are very tapped in. You have so much wisdom and medicine that you're already sharing with the world. This is about mastering the energetics, the unseen, the subtle clues which people are like, oh, is that right? Am I reading that? So yes, you are. Make moves on it because you could have a huge transformation right in this moment. Every single person in your group space could have a radical transformation because you followed those cues that other leaders are not following because they're still following the script. So here we support you to build the confidence, to hone in on your mastery, your specific mastery, and start expanding your intuitive knowing, because what are we without this? Like, we're not feminine embodied leaders without actually taking action on our intuitive knowing. And so really embody our presence and to share our medicine and our purpose work and our mission from our pleasure, from our eros, and it's going to be so freaking delicious. But we're going to take you on a journey for Sex Priestess in 2 days. Thursday the 25th, 4 p.m. Bali time. And we're going to be doing it together before Rosie goes back to London. And I am Samantha. And this is Rosie.
We haven't even introduced ourselves. Samantha and Rosie, we started House of Creatrix about 7 months ago. Wow. And it's become, the reason, everything that we're talking about is based on our meeting of our bodies vibrating, asking the universe for a sign and completely following God's will, like surrendering to it, but not from that leaky place, just going, I'm going. And there's no such thing as mistakes when you follow that cue and follow that sign.
Yeah. And,
we both have very similar medicines and our own unique medicine, of course. It's, like we said, energetic mastery relationships. It's like shadow hunting and really just accessing that primordial feminine blueprint that we have denied for so long. It's not contorting, it's going into these spaces, and we've helped over 10,000 different people, men and women at different festivals, at different centers, at different retreats, in our spaces. And now we're here to say, like, let's go into the moves that we are being pulled into, because we know that we're not the only ones being pulled into this space. We know that there's so many of you, like Samantha said a second ago, who are got the confidence, who are doing the work, who know they're here for something greater, who want to do something greater than just for themselves, right? This isn't a selfish thing, although the material can be lovely. Like, we're in this beautiful, amazing, luxurious place right now, which we would never have been able to dream of last year. But that's just one side of it. So it's unlocking the purpose, right? We're here to create a movement, not to just influence and follow our strategy. We're here to help you unlock your unique medicine for the collective.
Yeah, what's your blueprint? What's your mission? How are you here to serve your relationship, your clients, your community? Yeah, when you unlock, like we want to support you to fill in the missing blanks and be just like the badass creatrix that you are, so you can come and serve the world and dance in your frequency, because you shift and watch the room shift around you.
No knickers.
Just white ones. I'm a virgin.
So come and join, because there is there's literally no reason not to join, because it's free. So if you really, if anything was pulsing through you in this conversation with the Creatrix, which is also you, by the way, it's not just us, we're all the Creatrix, then come to Sex Priestess.
This is why we called it Creatrix, right? Because we're like, we're like done being stuck in healing loops and shadow cycles, yeah? No,
Done.
We're here to create. That's what we're here for. So we're inviting you in. Come and say hey, get in our inbox.
Get in our space, baby. We want you in our space.
We love you. Thank you for being with us today. And rub the Buddha for them.
Yeah. Tickle him.
Alrighty, that's us signing off.
Yes. We love you. Well, we'll see you inside.